When love faces its greatest challenge, the unfolding story of James and Diep. In a world that often moves in speed, volume, and noise, it is rare to come across a story that slows down time, reminding us of what matters most: love, sacrifice, and the fragile thread that binds two hearts. James and Diep seem not destined to meet. Their lives, so different from each other, intersect not by a grand plan but by the silent workings of fate. As love blossoms between them, past wounds begin to heal. Happiness, once a distant hope, is now within reach. But life, with its relentless harshness, strikes down mercilessly. Diep is diagnosed with a rare, life-threatening disease, one that is not easy, only urgent. The local hospitals, despite their dedicated care, lack the necessary equipment to treat her. Her condition, if left untreated, could worsen within weeks. Faced with a decision that could cost him everything, James stood at a painful crossroads. Should he risk his family's fortune to send the woman he loved abroad for treatment, or accept the harsh reality that they could not afford it? After months of lying in a sterile hospital room, filled with fear and fragile hope, Diep was discharged. But her departure was not a victory, but the beginning of a longer and lonelier battle. Her only refuge was a small farm in the countryside, where she had lived among nature, among wild animals and the gentle murmur of the earth and sky. It was James who came to take her home. Filled with tenderness, he called his mother first, asking her to prepare the house to welcome Diep home. Despite living in luxury, James' mother always saw something pure in Diep. Without hesitation, she came to the house, fed the chickens and ducks, swept the floor, washed the windows, and prepared everything. She didn't just clean, she also went to the market, picked vegetables herself, and cooked a warm meal. When the sunset fell, the golden light covered the small house. The house seemed to glow, not from the walls, but from the quiet, steadfast love of a woman who considered Diep as her daughter. James didn't take Diep straight home. First, he took her to a small shop on the outskirts of the city. Under the warm yellow light, among the shelves of soft fabrics and gentle colors, he whispered, "I want you to have something new, a new beginning." Diep shook her head, worried that she had spent too much money. But James just held her hand and said softly, "Let me take care of you." "You've been carrying this alone for too long." It wasn't the clothes that warmed her, but his words, like a balm to soothe her tired soul. She left the store with a thin sweater, a floral dress, a white scarf, and her smile had been restored. When they arrived at the farm, the sunset bathed the world in honey light. The air was filled with the scent of home, soup, braised fish, and fried eggs, her favorite dish, which James had told her mother about. On the table was a small vase of yellow chrysanthemums freshly picked from the garden. It was a welcome that Diep had never known. For someone who always felt lonely during meals, the warmth of the dining table was almost unbearable. James' mother walked over, smiled, and said gently, "You're home. Go wash your hands." "Everything is ready, just waiting for you." Diep's voice trembled as she whispered her thanks. That night, under the soft light of the wooden table and the gentle silence of the family, Diep ate like someone who was remembering what it meant to be cared for. But her strength was still weak. After only a few spoonfuls, she was exhausted. James helped her onto the bed, pulled the covers over her thin body, and gently stroked her hair with a tenderness reserved for love. "Now rest," he said. "I'll be with you." Alone in the kitchen, James' mother washed the dishes in silence before asking, "She still looks so weak." "How bad is she really?" James was silent. The fact that Diep needed to go abroad for treatment or risk death still stuck in his throat. But his mother, with the quiet wisdom of a woman who had experienced both love and loss, just nodded. "She's like my daughter now. If you need anything, just say it." A moment later, the sound of a car broke the silence. It was Dung. In the past, Dung had loved Diep. And when she chose James, he had stepped back, silently surrendered. But now, seeing her pale and weak, that silence was broken. He faced James with a rage rising in pain. "You promised to take care of her." "How did it turn out like this? Why didn't you see any signs?" James stood silently, accepting every word. No excuses, only guilt. Dung pushed past him to look at Diep. Standing by the bed, his hand ran through her hair, trembling with unspoken words. But he said nothing, just looked, then turned away. Before leaving, he coldly said to James, "If you don't protect her this time, I will." "I won't let her go again." James stood alone in the night, his heart heavy with the truth. He had not been good enough. He had not acted fast enough. And now, time was running out. He returned to Diep. She was still sleeping, her face serene in the soft light. He gently held her hand, silently promising never to leave her again. No words, just presence, just love. As dawn began to break in the next chapter of the story, one question remained. Can love, steadfast, quiet, and full of hurt, really defy fate? We would soon find out.